Hi friends, it's time for our week ahead tarot reading for the week of February 17th to February 23rd, 2025. As always, I'm setting the intention that this is for my YouTube subscriber collective, so if you're not already subscribed, I hope you do. If you're new here, hi, my name is Beth, and I'm a trauma-informed intuitive tarot reader and life coach, and I'm really excited to do this reading for us for this week. So we are still in the final days of Aquarius season. We will be starting Pisces season this week on the 18th. I will do a whole additional tarot reading about Pisces season. So we're just going to focus on the energy for this week ahead, what you might need to know, what to expect, anything like that. So let's just see what messages are going to come out for the collective for this week, February 17th to February 23rd, 2025. Thank you, Spirit. What does this collective need to know for this week ahead for February 17th to February 23rd, 2025? February 17th to February 23rd, 2025. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Lots of messages coming in. Lots of messages coming in today. Ooh. Lots of messages coming in. Okay. I'm going to take these. Here we are. All right, friends, let's take a look at what we got here. Okay, so first, I'm definitely getting, like, as we're going to head into Pisces season, we're going to be on the Pisces-Virgo axis. There's a lot astrologically going on Pisces-Virgo axis that we have going. So we have Neptune is currently in Pisces, Saturn is currently in Pisces, Mercury is in Pisces. We have Venus in Aries right now, but it is going to go retrograde and it will go into Pisces. The North and South Node axis is on the Pisces-Virgo axis. We're going to be having eclipses in the Pisces-Virgo axis. So there's a lot going on, which is why I'm going to do a whole additional tarot reading about Pisces season this week, like I said. But the first card that came out is a Virgo card. Okay, so we have the Nine of Stars. And so what I'm getting is that I feel like this is a week where even though you don't necessarily realize it, like I feel like you need to kind of almost like be aware of your blessings. I feel like with all of these other things going on, sometimes you almost like deceive yourself about what blessings you actually have. I'm getting some of that with the Seven of Crystals and the Four of Cups. And I feel like you need to be more mindful of your blessings. And also I feel like find more gratitude this week. Maybe if you can just commit to yourself for literally just 7 days to do a gratitude practice, I think that would be very helpful for you. I think that would actually help you just feel very fulfilled and call in more fulfillment as other cards that I'm seeing for this week. I do also feel like there's some things where you're trying to make some decisions and you don't feel like you have the answers and you feel like what you've been wanting isn't coming. And so, especially with the Four of Cups, and I feel like for some of you, you're going to be tempted to make choices that are not actually in your best interest, and especially to like use tactics that are not your highest self making those decisions. Okay, with the Seven of Crystals, I feel like you're like frustrated that you're not getting what you want in some situation, and you just get tempted to be like, well, maybe if I act like this, like other people are being manipulative, maybe I can be manipulative, or other people do this, so like maybe I can do this. And I feel like, especially with the Seven of Cups coming out in reverse, that it's kind of like a warning to not do that. Like you actually have more than what you think. That's actually reminding me, I keep on getting this download. I've been meaning to do like a whole TikTok on it from the song. It's by the group Above and Beyond. And the line is like, treasure is measured in units of love. So you might find that you are blessed beyond your wildest dreams. That's like the line. Or multiple lines, I guess. And I feel like almost that's the energy here. I'm going to just say it again. Treasure is measured in units of love. So you may find that you are blessed beyond your wildest dreams. And it's like, if you are looking, especially maybe in some of the more practical aspects of things where you're just like, this isn't going right. I'm just going to freaking do it this way. You're missing some of the treasures I think that you actually do have. And you might end up like turning some of the good energy that you have. It's like, make sure that you're still vibrating on the frequency that you want to vibrate on. And like, while yes, there are other people that are doing things in a way that like maybe isn't morally aligned with you, and maybe it looks like they're getting rewarded, that reward isn't going to stay. And I feel like if you want to keep on calling in the types of things that you want to call in, you have to be morally aligned with the way that you want to do that. And if you feel like you haven't been calling in the things that you want, I think also look at like, what frequency are you emitting? How are you vibrating? Because you are going to call in the things that are aligned with the frequency at which you're vibrating on. Okay, so I feel like that's a really big part of the message and something to just be thinking about this week, especially to help like set you up for the next several months, or not several months. That sounds like I should have said several weeks, the next several weeks, so that you, as we have a lot of things going on astrologically, especially with Venus retrograde coming up, and this is actually a Venus card, as that's happening, you are like you have your compass that you're going towards. Okay, I think that'll be really helpful. Now, I do actually see a lot of love, and I feel like there's a lot of loving communication. I see with the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Crystals, and the Lover's card all came out together. So I feel like, this is reminding me of in the February love predictions, when I posted at the beginning of the month. If you haven't seen that, you can go back and watch that whole playlist. But, it's only the middle of February, right? We still have a couple weeks left. And I said in the last 10 days of February, I feel like there's going to be communication coming in from somebody from that, like, you are excited to hear from. And it feels really loving. And like, it just feels like this is still here. Okay. There's like this renewed communication in love that feels really good. And then the 10 of Cups is here. And this is also really aligned with that song that I've been channeling of, like, treasures measured in units of love, you might find that you're blessed beyond your wildest dreams. Like, this is so much blessings, so many blessings where you're radiating joy, abundance, and just, feeling really loved and happy. And this is actually for all areas of life. This is not just in relationships. This is like where you actually can find that you are really having this can be a really beautiful week. And I do feel like there's like areas of your life where things maybe don't feel beautiful, but I feel like you just need to like take a step back and see where things are really beautiful. I'm also seeing like a lot of you are working on calling in more of the type of love that you desire, and that just seems really significant this week. Obviously, we have the Queen of Cups with the Lovers, we have the 10 of Cups here, and then we also have the 2 of Cups, the 3 of Wands, and the Star card all coming out. I feel like you made some changes, and maybe it's like the last couple days of Aquarius season, because the Star card is Aquarius. It's like with the 2 of Cups and the 3 of Wands, I feel like for many of you, you made some changes in love. This is like the reminder of like, make sure that you're only taking with you what you actually want to take with you into the future. And especially with the 2 of Cups, maybe you are, and followed by the 3 of Wands, you are releasing something that like you felt comfortable being in this like situation that maybe wasn't as fulfilling as you thought, and you're finally releasing it, you're finally healing. Or maybe like some version of the 2 of Cups that you've been holding on to that like you haven't been operating in your highest self here, you're finally like stepping forward into a higher, like more like capable version of yourself, somebody you've really been trying to grow into, some like where you're like integrating all these things that you've been learning and you're finally putting that into practice. I also feel like for some of you, this is also about communicating honestly, and especially the fact that we have the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Crystals, and the Lovers. It's like, I think that there's you're learning this week maybe how to communicate, or it's like you get this epiphany of, instead of communicating in a way that's like kind of hurtful or manipulative, you instead learn how to communicate clearly through a positive emotional way, and it actually brings in more union. This could be in any relationship. This doesn't just have to be in a romantic relationship. This part that I'm talking about regarding communication, like this could be that, like, it's super strong confirmation of this. Okay, obviously these cards I've already talked about how this relates to romantic love, but I'm also saying like this message is not just about romantic love. This communication aspect is about not just romantic love. This part of like maybe deciding that you were going to be manipulative, that could have been in a family, a friendship. Okay, and what I'm just getting is that like when you find this space for yourself where instead of communicating in that like manipulative way, or you might not even be intending to be manipulative, is also the thing. I feel like maybe you are like, you normally communicate in a people-pleasing way, or something like that, and people-pleasing is actually at its core manipulative. And if that's the first time you're ever hearing that, I highly encourage you to look into more about people-pleasing tendencies. And it's okay if you haven't heard that before, and it's just an area of yourself that you might want to like look at and examine, because I think that would be really helpful. But I'm just seeing that you're learning how to have this like different type of communication, and this actually then brings in more sacred union. Instead of hiding your feelings, instead of keeping certain things to yourself, you're communicating them, and you're not communicating them in a blaming or shaming way or an attacking way. You're actually able to communicate in a way that brings in more union. And this is definitely you stepping out of your comfort zone in that, and it calls in more of the Two of Cups energy, more of a divine partnership. And the Star card is also about like being vulnerable and speaking your truth, and this is integrating your healing. Okay, so you've like worked on healing in various ways, and then you're finally putting it into practice. And so I feel like that's like a lot of what's happening this week. So I think like look for those opportunities where you really like pause for a second, instead of like reacting, pause and respond. Okay, so that you can be like, wait, how would like a lower vibrational version of me maybe respond, versus how would my higher self respond? If my future self could tell me how to respond right now, how might I choose to respond? How might I handle this differently? And try to like kind of push yourself a little bit in this way. I think that's like, this is definitely more of like an area of personal growth that you can have. And I see this really bringing in a lot of better connection for you. And so now we have the 10 of Stars and the 10 of Cups here. And with the 10 of Stars, this is again making me just think like, this is not just in your romantic relationships. This is also in friendships. This is also in family. This could even be at work. This could even be with neighbors. It's just like wherever you have your roots planted, and it grows, and it can like turn into something better. And it's almost like you're like cutting out the weeds of or like the rotted roots. It's more like rotted roots. You're cutting out the rotted roots of like not great communication, so that you can grow and focus on and nurture the better connected branches and trees, I guess. I don't know, I'm struggling with this analogy, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so I feel like those are the main messages for this week, but let's just see if there's any final things. Is there anything else, thank you Spirit, anything else that the collective needs to know? I did see the Page of Crystals on the bottom of the deck before I started shuffling, which to me is also like that idea of like a new possibilities in how you would communicate. Yeah, okay. As I said, choices in love now. Look at this with the Empress, the Judgment card, and the Emperor like on the bottom of the deck. So I really feel like there is some sort of choice in love that you need to make to be able to have it be like that divine sacred connection. So sacred connection, the flower of life is here. This does not necessarily mean that it's like holding on to the person that you are already with the 4 of Stars. So, you know, I've had a lot of messages on my TikTok lately about like people needing to walk away and making that choice. And I know that that's a big part of it, right? Walking away from a connection that you wanted to be your 2 of Cups, but isn't your 2 of Cups. So there's big choices so that you can have the type of connection you are meant to have. All right. So I know it can be confusing sometimes because there's like various types of love messages coming in, but sometimes I think sometimes we think a message is about one person when that's not the person it's about. And so when you are, and I feel like that's maybe some of this, you're maybe sometimes trying to apply a message to a certain person, and the message that you need about that person is maybe more of like a walking away so that you can call in the type of love that you want. And the message that is about like a different type of communication and love coming in can be because something different is coming in, a new person, or, you know, love coming in from a friend, or love coming in from family members. Okay, so there's this reminder though that there is choice. So like there's you know, divine paths and divine guidance, but there's also choice. And thinking about, are you choosing to be, because these 2 cards were together and this is on the bottom of the deck, are you choosing to be your highest self? Is this how, if you were in your most ideal self, are you operating the way that person would be, this person, right? Or are you operating maybe not in your most grown, healthiest self. You get to choose which one you are, but then that will determine what version of an emperor you get. Is the person that you're dealing with actually in their highest energy as well? Because both of these need to be happening in order for it to be truly this divine connected union. But this is all possible for this collective. So what seeds are you planting? Look at the 7 of stars on the bottom of the deck. What seeds are you planting and nurturing? Think about that. Lots of 7s. Lots of 7s. So 777 might be something that you see this week too. And I think when you see 777, it does not mean that you're lucky. I'm not saying that you're not lucky. I think sometimes when we see 777, that's what it means. This week, if you see 777, I think what it's trying to say is like, are you aligning with, I almost feel like you should have met, as I just said that and just shuffled the Chariot, which is another 7. Oh my gosh. I almost think like, picture like a slot machine and it's like spinning, and it's like in order to hit the jackpot, you need to have the right combination. And it's like, are you in the right combination? Like, are you showing up in with the right thing that you need it to be? A 7, or, is it 3 cherries? Maybe somebody needed to hear something about cherries. Is it like 3 cherries? Like, are you showing up with a cherry? Are they showing up with a cherry? Is that like, are you setting it up to be so that it can all be there? When you see 777, I feel like it's like, check your alignment, check your choices. That's what it means this week. Okay, that's not what it always means, but that's what I'm getting it means for this week. So let me know if you see 777. Come back and let me know. But I hope that this message helps give you that guidance that you need for the week ahead. And I will see you again next week, as well as for the Pisces season reading.